Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today was quite a good day for me because I finished my book. I finished the book that I started. So when I started my spiritual awakening, when I really started when it started getting really serious and things started really changing for me, that was back in January. And I remember in January, I was a mess. I couldn't do anything. I was about this close on giving up on everything. Sorry, I did my nails yesterday and I broke a nail. But yeah, so I started this book, a woman, or rather, a broken girl who, was at a point where she was so sick of the world and everybody's shit that she, kind of wanted to give up. But, the divine was just there, always pushing me, trying to get me to see what the purpose of my life is for me as an individual. And I'm going to go ahead and read the first excerpt from the first day. The quote is, "I do anything for a good body except exercise and eat right." So I think how that applied for me was I would do anything for a good life except for do the things to actually have that good life of mine. And what I wrote was, work on studying my tarot and getting more and more connection time in with my higher self and the divine, one step at a time, but live with purpose. Having my disability plus the income from my lash business going to put me right where I need to be. You got this. Thank you, spirits. So it gets me emotional because back then, even just reading this and thinking about where I'm at now, it's like a completely different story. The girl that I was when I wrote this was still the same girl that was caught up in her shadow, in her ego, in her pain. This was the girl who didn't ever understand why, she put out the very best of herself with every single person she met, but never really got the same in return. And, it's a really proud moment for me, even though it was such a short time ago, that's how much progress has happened for me. That's how much change has come. And even within a matter of one day on the 20th, I said, I have awakened to a whole new dawn today. And it's like, this process is not an easy one. It's not easy. It's hard. It's really hard. And I've lost almost every single person that I used to have in my life because of the choices that I've made. And it's not because I'm wanting to hurt them. It's because I really need to respect myself and them and grow, to prove them all right in my sense of the word and how that resonates for me as an individual, as an adult who has control over her life now. And it's interesting because the quote here is, real growth often happens outside of where we intend it to. In the interstitial space is what Dr. Seuss calls the waiting place. So what this period is right now, if you're going through an awakening and you are kind of trying to figure out what is happening to you, why everything seems so dark, so different, and you're feeling super sensitive and irritated and you're just not feeling yourself. First off, you've never been in this place before, so be kind with yourself. You don't know this place. You don't understand it yet because you've never been here. So be patient with yourself, first off. Second off, there is a name for that in the spiritual world called the dark night of the soul. So it's essentially where your higher self comes in, because you've opened yourself, you've awakened to the presence of your higher self. And now your higher self is giving you all of these messages and synchronicities and signs that you have no idea what they mean, or you've never seen anything like that before. Sorry, my shirt's crooked. I don't know why. But yeah, so it's called the dark night of the soul, and it's basically the period in between who you were and who you're becoming. And depending on what degree of changes need to be made in your life, there is no difference of severity, because at the end of the day, it's the same process, and everybody that goes through this and gets to the other side has to go through it, unfortunately. But the key to this is to love that side of yourself. The key to getting through the dark night of the soul is to accept that side and love it, because it's you. You are the light and you are dark equally. So it's about loving those both sides of you and understanding that that's your nature. Yeah. This book, I remember I called it in a couple of videos ago. I called it my Bible. And it's just, this morning the spirits woke me up at like 3:30 in the morning, or like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the first thing that they told me was, Michaela, you're running away from yourself and you don't even realize it. You know, me being in this new place, I as well am kind of struggling because I am human like everybody else. And yesterday was a little bit of a difficult day because it got to the point where I'm like, ugh, I don't even feel like connecting today. Like, I just felt like I don't feel like doing anything. The sun's out. I just want to be in my head and just do whatever. But that was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made because this morning they woke me up and said, Michaela, for the amount of work that you lacked off yesterday, now this is why you got to wake up now and you got to get this done. Because at the end of the day, you know, we cry and cry and cry over not receiving our manifestations, but we don't put in the actual work to get the manifestation. And that was what I needed to realize, is that, you know, in life, I've always gone off of this, you know, the universe had always had my back to some degree or another. You know, I was always protected, even when I wasn't awake. I always found myself in situations when I was young, where I needed that protection, and they were always there for me, even if I realized it or not. But now it's gotten to the point where I am merged with my higher self, and I am a divine being, a high light being in my own right. So it's getting used to the fact that now I do have the answers within me, and I don't have to go to God or the creator or the universe or the angels. I don't have to do that because it's here. My higher self, my angelic being, is one with me and my twin flame. So it's a little bit more difficult, especially if you don't really put in the active consciousness to remember what you're receiving, or you don't apply that active consciousness to keep on maintaining your level of divinity or your level of ascension, because we are imperfect. We can't get around that, you know. And it's also really, going on that note, it's really about being patient with yourself, because of the fact that you realize you're not perfect. And, you know, if something's not presented to you, if the universe or the divine is not presenting you with something that you really want, but they've promised you're going to get it, then you just have to accept that it's right, but it's not right now. So, you know, the whole process really, you know, it started out for me all about love. It started out all about the love I feel from my twin flame. But then as I went further and further throughout the ascension process on my own, completely on my own, it became something more. It didn't necessarily mean that it wasn't as well about my twin flame, because it is definitely about him as well, because combined souls, true soul, true love, whatever. But in order to get that, I didn't realize that I had to be whole and sturdy within myself first, because we forget that we're mirrors, and if I'm not ready, he's not ready either. Or if I'm feeling something, he's feeling that way too. So we always go back and forth in that 3D conscience of saying, oh, I can't see him, so I don't know, like maybe I'm crazy, oh, I don't know. But it's not that. It's not that type of connection anymore. And it's, if you are going through this, understand that you have to open your mind to completely seeing this as what it is, as a completely new blessing, something that we've never experienced before. And following our heart, because our brain is stupid. Our brains are stupid. They run off of fear. They run off the ego. They lead us down places that we don't want to be. We need to follow our heart. Because our heart is connected with the soul, and our soul is connected with the divine, and the divine is God, and God is love. So, guys, follow your heart. Because life is too short. Life is way too short. Always don't go a day without letting something out that you have on your chest. If you have something that's weighing extremely heavy on you and you need to let it out, let it out. It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say. It doesn't matter what anybody else is going to think of it. What matters is that you have peace of mind in yourself, and that you're happy with your life, living your life for you, not for anybody else. Because people like me have spent our whole lives subconsciously living vicariously through other people and their problems. But now the divine is saying that it's time. You got everything you need. There's no need to do anything else but to take that leap, to move forward. For me, making these YouTube videos is a very scary thing, because my topic, my field of light work is very, I guess you can say, taboo in the 3D sense. But fortunately for me, it's the most real thing I've ever felt. I've never been more complete in my life, because I am one with myself, with nobody else but myself. And that's when the true power comes in. And that's when you have to be able to really, really let go. Really, really, really let go of what was. Because now is a new time. Remember, you've never been here before. You've never been in this position before. Be patient with yourself. Always know that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we may think, oh my God, that was the devil. Oh my God, this happened in my life because, oh my God, now everything's in ruin. But then 6 months later, you're going to be like, that was God. Because nothing is a coincidence in this life. Nothing is a coincidence. And it's all about how we choose to perceive it. Because at the end of the day, we're all one. We're all human beings. We're all divine beings, children of God, children of the universe, whatever it is that you believe. At the end of the day, we're all children. We're all connected through something or another. And really opening up yourself to that level of positivity and fulfillment and compassion. It may seem like something that isn't the norm, or something that's crazy, or something that is just foolish. But if it was something that was, we wouldn't be in this position. People like me wouldn't be waking up if it was a norm. But that's what our purpose is to make it a norm, to make it become a norm, to be happy in life, to make it a norm to live our life and do what we have to do to fulfill ourselves, to get rid of that need to prove something to people, to get rid of that need to get revenge or payback in the form of success, because success is great. And, success is a really great thing, but if you're not careful, you can be putting the wrong connotations into it, the wrong energy into it. It's all about keeping that positive, fair, compassionate energy, because you really get what you give. There's a lot of people out here complaining about their lives. There's a lot of people out here that are wondering why this, why that. But they need to look at themselves. Those people are the people that are afraid to look at themselves because they're going to be disgusted by what they see. But they need to realize that it's not a thing about disgust, that we're not perfect, and that we are light and dark equally as beings, as imperfect beings. So I encourage every single one of you watching this video. I know it's not easy. I will be the first to tell you. Anybody who knows me and who has experienced me along my journey knows that it was not easy, and that I was extremely fragile for a very, 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 very long time, because that's what the people around me made me believe that I was. That was the people around me. They saw that bubble in me. They saw that potential, that fire in me, that difference in me. So when somebody sees something that threatens them and threatens whatever thin line or thin foundation their ego or their shadow side is laying on, how do you think they're going to react? Now, this is no shade, nothing like that. This is just the reality for someone who is awakening. And we will all go through it. Every single one of us will go through it. But it's all about remaining positive and remembering why we're doing this. Remembering why we're doing this, what the purpose is. We're here to make this world a better place. We're here to make ourselves better people. We're here to better the people around me. We're here to break generational traumas. We're here to change family trees. We're here to just come for the throne and never stop until we get it. Okay? So y'all need to keep on following your heart, listening to the divine. Please differentiate the difference between your thoughts and your intuition. Very, very important, because I myself made a lot of mistakes in the beginning, and did a lot of assumptions that I made out of my own emotion. Those assumptions that I made came from my 3D mind, my ego, my shadow self. But it wasn't until Jehovah sat me down and put it right on the table for me, and did not care if it was going to make me cringe or cry or scream or run. He gave it to me, and then that was it. There was no going back. So guys, alleviate your stress mentally and physically, because it's a very, 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 very challenging time. There's a lot. Again, I stress this in another video. Guys, please be gentle with yourselves, because there's a lot of depletions of old negative energies, toxic energies, and additions of new ones. So stay hydrated, drink lots of water, take time, even if it's like an hour, 2 hours a day, to, if you like pulling tarot cards, to pull some cards and to do some spreads for the day. Or if you like to read a book. If you like to walk, go outside, meditate, do something to connect yourself with yourself, and be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, but most importantly, be kind to yourself, because you're not going to be able to be kind to others if you're not kind to yourself. Guys, I want to thank you guys for those who are still watching my videos. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. Again, she hoped to be wise and reasonable in time, but alas, she must confess to herself that she was not wise yet. And after all, tomorrow is a new day. Buena vida, buena vibra, siempre. Beso. Chao.